Good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. And what a beautiful day it is, right? And I am, just working away here and Good morning. Lots of things to do and lots of really great things happening to end this year really, really strong. One of the things that I've really been reflecting on, though, for myself that I wanted to share with you all is something that's really simple, but it requires you to do your part. And here's one thing that I have learned. Okay. No one can dictate your timeline, right? And when I say no one, just bear with me. When I say no one, you can dictate your timeline, but you have an obligation to yourself and to find what works for you. Okay. You have to find what works for you and then just do it. I think sometimes we get so caught up with what we should be doing for other people, and we get lost in this whole system, in this um, dialogue of how we're supposed to do things on social media, how we're supposed to do things in our personal life, right? And at the end of the day, you have to figure out what you want. You have to figure out who you want to be around. You have to figure out what your circle is going to be. And at the end of the day, no one else but you can dictate your timeline. What is that timeline? I don't know what the timeline is. The timeline is whatever it takes for you to come to terms with what you need to do for yourself, to make those changes, to make those commitments to yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's not about anyone else, right? It's about our obligation to ourselves. We have an obligation and a commitment to do what we need to do for ourselves. What does that timeline look like? It's different for everyone, right? We can be at a really good pace, but that pace is your pace. I'm not saying that that pace has to be a slow pace. You can be consistent and making a lot of steps towards your momentum, towards your goals of what you're striving to do, what you're looking for that outcome to be. And you can be at a really fast pace. But then if you need to ease up, because sometimes as we're going through, right, and we're at that pace and we have these lessons, we have to stop. You can't just keep going all the time and not stop for reflection, to learn those lessons, to figure out, okay, I'm at this point, right? In this timeline, I can take a pause in this timeline right now. It doesn't mean that I have stopped moving forward. It doesn't mean that I have stopped reaching for those things that are important to me and the outcome that you ultimately desire, right? Doesn't mean any of that. But what it does mean specifically is that on that timeline, you have to be consistent with that timeline. You have to be consistent with the moves that it's going to take to get you to that next level. When you get to a certain point, it's okay to stop. But what you do not want to do is you do not want to not be on pace. You don't want to just stop completely, because at the end of the day, no one dictates that again but you. You are in control of you. And a lot of times, I say this all the time, we know what we're supposed to be doing. It's just being at that peaceful pace of purpose, right? Finding that peace, but keeping the pace while you're pursuing your purpose. I love that for myself. That's a big thing for me. And so I'm just encouraging everyone to not stop, not let someone else dictate what that timeline is, that timeline should be for yourself. What works for one is not a cookie cutter version for yourself, but you have to know that. You have to know that about yourself. You have to be with yourself. You have to learn yourself, right? What makes you tick? What are your negotiables? What are your non-negotiables? What are you willing to tolerate? Right? We can have mentors, we can have friends that guide us, we can have friends that give us suggestions and all those things. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful to have those resources and to have that support. But at the end of the day, when the lights are off, the doors shut, you're at home, the only thing that you have is yourself. The only person that you're accountable to is yourself. So no one else can dictate your timeline but you, period. So what does that timeline look like for you? I don't know, but you need to figure it out. And I apologize. I shouldn't say you need. It is highly recommended that when you do figure it out, it's worth it, because then you're going to know, okay, I am in control. I have that power to make those decisions for myself because my heart knows. I know I have learned these lessons, right? I am on that path of discovery every day. We're always on this path of discovery, right? We're never going to stop that, which is one of the most beautiful things in life. But once we learn that no one else dictates our timeline, we dictate our timeline, right? We dictate that timeline. And as a result, we have an obligation to then take those necessary steps to do what we need to do to move forward and to propel us forward. So I am encouraging each and every one of you to be encouraged, and don't be afraid to do what you know you need to do. Don't let anyone else dictate your timeline. You take control of your timeline and you keep that pace going because you have an obligation to yourself. So don't lose pace, keep that pace. And it's a beautiful thing. So just a quick little tidbit that I wanted to come on and share with you that's been on my heart, and I have learned myself. So be safe. Remember that you are amazing. You are amazing, and life is amazing. And I love you guys. You guys are amazing. And I hope that, and it's my desire that you get some encouragement and that you see something, that is going to, or hear something that's going to resonate with you, and know, more importantly, that you are not alone, right? You have, not only is the universe at your disposal, whatever you believe, your God is there for you, and we are here for you, and you have a community, a support system that is none other. So I am really grateful. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be able to share my heart, to share my lessons, and to just do what I need to do, because no one can dictate my timeline. I have an obligation not only to myself, but then, you know what, more importantly as well, once you are at that point, you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to be able to reach out and then to share that knowledge and to share that compassion and share that encouragement with others. I just feel like, that's what we're put here to do. We're not in this alone. We're in this together, and we need to be mindful of that. So love you guys. Have a super day, and I will talk to you soon. Oh, one other announcement too. We will be going live at 7:30. Have a special guest, and I cannot wait for it. I'm really excited about it, and I know you're going to enjoy it too. So have a good day, and I will talk to you soon.